Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. You're probably looking at the title like, what? But yes, this is going to be a video of how we sleep train our toddler. I know a lot of times people do this when they're newborns, but if you miss the boat, you may feel like I felt like I missed the boat. I should have did it earlier. There's no way that they are going to go to sleep by themselves now. I am out of luck, but you're not. I did it. You can do it. Let's get these babies sleep trained. So a little bit back history. With my baby from 0 to about 14 months, actually, we were doing kind of this routine. We would kind of lay next to her. For 0 to 3 months, she actually co-slept with us in a bassinet. At 3 months, we moved her, and I'll link that bassinet below. It's not the DockATot. It was a more inexpensive one, but the sides went up higher, so we felt more comfortable sleeping with her in our bed. At 3 months, we moved the bassinet into her crib. So from 3 months on till now, she slept in her crib. But from 3 months to about 10 months, she slept in her crib in that bassinet. Then she outgrew it, so then she just started sleeping in the crib. But we did this routine from 3 months on. We would lay with her in our bed, like our bed, big people's bed, and we would lay with her until she fell asleep. When she was younger, it took 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at the most. She would pass out, fall asleep. We would transfer her into her crib. Night, night. She's good for the night. But then when we got closer, probably around from 1 to 14 months, it started getting progressively harder. Toddlers are more difficult. She would start like playing with our nose, like I wear glasses. Before I go to bed, she would be like pulling off my glasses, twirling my hair, sticking her fingers in my mouth. And it started to take, first it took 15 minutes for her to fall asleep. Then it turned out to 30. Then it moved on to, it was taking us an hour and a half of laying next to her to get to her to fall asleep. And like, I don't know about you, but that's a no-no. Like, me and my husband were like, we're done. We need to figure out something because this just isn't working like it used to. And so we decided to do a modified cry it out method with our toddler. Yes, I said toddler. And it took about 2 nights. Let's push it to 3 before she got the hang of it. And then that's what we do now. If you would like to see my full nighttime routine, my daughter is 17 months now. She just turned 17 months, I think last week. I'll link that down below. But that shows everything that we do. Okay, so I don't even know where I ended. So there, how we trained our toddler. So we started at 14 months. Toddlers can be a little bit different than sleep training a baby. They're going to pull at your heartstrings. When they cry it out, so to speak, they're going to call mama, dada. They can say your name. It's different than sleep training a 3-month-old. And sometimes they just don't want to go to sleep. There's too much fun going on. They just want to be up and at 'em. So it can be difficult, but I'm going to tell you what we did that worked for us to get our 14-month-old sleep trained. And I'm making this video because when you search, it's all about how to sleep train a baby. When people haven't done that, haven't chose to sleep train their baby when they're younger, they may feel lost. I don't want anybody to feel lost like I felt lost. So I'm just telling you what we did. You can try it and see if it'll work for you. So we started at 14 months. Before 14 months, I wanted to disassociate feedings being related to having a bottle. So we would push her bottle feeding or her sippy cup feeding, push it up closer to dinner time. So not before, right before she went to bed. So she would eat her dinner and then have her bottle or sippy cup of milk. And then we would play to get out some of that energy. And doing the same thing every day, your baby starts to understand, oh, we're doing the same thing every day. After this happens. They like predictability. They like it. I'm a person who enjoys it as well. I thrive on consistency and, things going just so. So have the same routine nightly. So if you're doing dinner and then you're feeding them that milk at dinner, and then we would play a little bit, and then we would do bath time. I do bath time every other night, or if it's been a really crazy week, I work, I'm a teacher, my husband is an engineer, we work, we have another son who is a teenager, every 2 nights. But we do the meal, milk with the meal, we do bath, and then we do play, and then we did bath. After bath, we do a book. I let my daughter pick out her book, or I'll read some of her favorites. This is a good one, If Animals Kiss Goodnight. I love this one. And I like books that mention about goodnight, going to bed. And I've done it since she was young. Even if they don't have it in it, I just make up my own words with it in there. And at the end, I always say, "Good night, baby Brooklyn," or "Good night, Brooklyn." I weave it throughout the book. So if she picked a book about bugs, I'd say the bugs flew away and then they went to bed. And they said, "Good night, baby Brooklyn." I weave it all throughout the book. So books that say good night, I love it because it's a reminder, especially with a toddler. Good night. We're about to go to bed. The animals are going to bed. You're going to go to bed too. Good night, good night, good night. I say it over and over and try to reinforce that word and what we're doing. We're getting ready to go to bed and go good night. So, and like I said, I love this book because it has it in it, but if books don't have the word goodnight in it, or they're not about going goodnight, say if she loves this one about ladybugs, I just weave it in there. I make it up as I go along. Maybe you could say it's easier for me because I'm a teacher and I read to children all day and make up stories all day, but you can do it too. Just weave it in there, the thought of good night. It's good night time. We're going to sleep. We're going good night. And especially because they're toddlers, they're more aware. So I read a story. After the story, I always, we have our routine. So I cut on my Dom sound machine. I'm not going to cut it on. I can't show you guys because she's actually taking a nap, but I snuck in there to steal this. So we cut on the Dom sound machine, and we go get the turtle. This turtle is usually on top of her books, and then she'll press this button. And remember, she's a toddler now, so this is getting your toddler to sleep. She can do it herself. So she pressed the button, the lights come on, and I love this little turtle. It makes like wave sounds, but we have the Dom sound machine that we've used since birth, so she's just used to that. And we put it down, and I say, "Turtle's going good night," because he is a sleepy turtle. He is going good night. His eyes are closed. And then I put her in her crib, put the blanket on her, and good night, Brooklyn, night, 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 night. Because she even does that with her dolls. When her dolls, she's playing with her dolls, she'll put a blanket on them and be like, pat them, night, 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 night. And we say night, night. And I put the blanket on. The first night we did this routine, she probably cried for 5 minutes. We went in after 5 minutes. It's going to break your heart. They're toddlers now. They're not just going to cry. They're going to call mama, dada, mama, dada. They're going to call you. But we stayed outside for 5 minutes. My daughter sleeps with a Binks. I went back in. I did not pick her up. I put the blanket back on her because she kicked that off. She was standing up. I laid her back down. I put the Binky in her mouth. And I said, "Love you. Good night." And I patted her back, 2 little pats on her back. Closed the door, stepped out of the dark room. This was still on, and it has like a wave pattern on the ceiling. She cried another 5 minutes. We went in again. I think my husband, we took turns. He went in, did the same thing, put the blanket back on, laid her down, put the blanket back on. Night, 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 Brooklyn. Stepped out, and in a minute or 2, we didn't hear any more crying. We waited maybe 20 minutes. We cracked open the door and looked in, and she was passed out asleep. She cried her little self to sleep. So that was night 1. My heart broke. I felt so bad, especially because I waited 14 months. Like, I felt awful. But our daughter's better. We're better when everybody is getting to sleep. It shouldn't take a baby an hour and a half to go night-night. Like, that's pretty ridiculous. And that was the point that we were at. And this was best for her. So, second night, same thing, same routine, earlier routine, same book. She cut on her little turtle. We put her in, put the blanket on, night-night, gave her binky, night-night, Brooklyn, and she cried for about 5 minutes. We went in, stuck the binky in her mouth, laid her back down, put the blanket on, nothing. We waited about 20 minutes, cracked, opened the door. Or you can just look in your baby monitor. We made sure she was asleep, and she still was asleep. So it took probably a total of 2 nights. The third night, maybe she cried for a minute. We didn't have to go back in, stick any binky in her mouth. She stuck it back in her own mouth, and she was passed out. So that's how we slept. Oh my goodness. That's how we did sleep training with our toddler. And it took a total of, let's say, 2 nights. And she's better for it. We're better for it. We, nighttime routine, me and my husband, we still always switch off. But it's not like, it's easy breezy. And she's able to soothe and coax herself and go to sleep. Let me tell you, this doesn't mean it's going to be baby proof. When your baby's teething, when they're going through a growth spurt, we've had a lot of problems with my daughter having ear infection, and she's actually going to be getting tubes, which I will document. So we've had setbacks. Sometimes she'll cry again at night, but more times than not, putting her to bed is pretty easy. And we do the same routine. No, you're not going to do like a bath or anything for nap, but the same routine for nap. She turns on the Dom machine. I'll have that link down below. She'll turn on her little soothing turtle. We can either do a book, and we'll put her down for naps like that. And we do the same routine. And it's worked for us. She's now 17 months, and we've been doing this since she was 14 months, and it's working great. So I hope that this helps somebody out, and this gave you hope if you haven't done sleep training with your baby yet, and they're coming up on their first birthday, or they're 13 months, and you're feeling like, we co-slept and I didn't sleep train, and now it's getting more difficult with my toddler, and it's never going to work now. It will work, and I'm here to give you some hope. So thank you, mamas, for watching this, or whoever's watching. I hope it helped you out. If you like videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget, how did you sleep train your baby? At what age? I would love to know that. Leave that down in the comment section down below. And I will check everybody out in my next video. Bye. Bye.